was a little lull in conversation, so I'm going to jump in and take this moment to go ahead and get started.
Yeah, I don't think so.
So first of all, thank you all very much for coming. I want you to just quickly glance around the rooms. We have yet again a great turnout for this event. And I think all of you know how strongly I feel that this event is the most important one we do in our organization, because this is the one that celebrates staff and celebrates what all of you do. So thank you very much for making the effort to come out, to celebrate your colleagues, to celebrate our retiree, and some of our people who are crazy enough to have stuck around for 10 and 20 years. So I am very excited to be here and to acknowledge all your work. I also want to thank my office staff for arranging this event here. They did a great job. And as long as they have brie and raspberry, I'll go anywhere. Like that's like my bottom line there. So they did a great job. This is a great menu. So thank you guys. All right, so here we go. So one of the things about CASE that I love the most, and I think you all know this, is that what we offer to a child is not just an individual staff member, but the entire range of knowledge and expertise and experience of all of our colleagues. It is the willingness to collaborate, the willingness to be vulnerable, and the camaraderie that allow us to bring our very best to every child's table. In that vein, the first recognitions this afternoon go to our long-term employees. I'm old school. Okay, so if you're here, I'd like the following employees to please come up, and these are our 10-year veterans. Michelle Buds, I know actually Michelle's absent today, she texted me. Okay, Amy Carrera, District 16 Social Worker. Sarah Gizorni, Kelly O'Donnell, Lindsay Siegel, and Dawn Stewart Walker. Thank you guys. I really do appreciate it. Your commitment is appreciated. Wait, you get it. Pick a Yeti, it's Darcy's favorite thing. All right, next I'd like to call up the individuals who have been in CASE for 20 years. Hey, so I don't know if I've even seen these guys today, but I'm looking out there for Beth Bojalewski and Jane Rudy. They get the colors we don't like. All right, I do appreciate my long-term employees and all of us. I think that it's amazing that so many of you guys get to see kids from the time that they're in EC or those early childhood programs all the way to being high school graduates. It's an amazing journey that you get to be a part of, and I appreciate everything that you're doing. While we're talking about longevity, I also want to just take a couple minutes and recognize some of our newer staff. I think all of you know, or most of you know, that the new staff at CASE are assigned to mentor and participate in a 2-year mentoring program. Our mentors do an amazing job at providing support and partnership, and in turn, we are thankful to have new staff who bring to us exciting and vibrant new skills, new ideas, different experiences, and help us all to grow. So what I'd like to do now is call up the 2nd-year mentees who are our little graduates. Get a little certificate, so come on down. Here we go. So I need to see Jackie Pareto, Allison Cole, Kendall Elliott, Sam Fermento, Alexa Forbikin, Caitlin King, Karina Fabia, Madeline Lake, Becky Lasters, Bonnie Lester, Devin Mahoney, Paola Prado, Tyler Reichier, Amanda Rossi, Daisy Simulon, Jessica Thomas, I knew she was crazy, Natalie Thompson, Alicia Christina and Deb Zoe. I also would invite our current mentors to stand. So if you are a mentor, I'd appreciate it if you would stand. Any of our new mentee graduates, you're welcome. We might ask you to be a mentor next year. So I do appreciate the work of the mentors. They put out their time, effort, advice, consolation, whatever it takes. And you guys have done a great job. Okay, next thing is that we're going to move to special recognitions. So if you're a My Fair Lady fan, you probably love that. If you're not, or you're not old, probably have no idea what that is. All right, so I am excited to recognize these individuals who expended the energy to add to their own expertise and the expertise of our organization. Their coursework and their studies bring additional resources to all of us, and their knowledge gives us new ideas to explore and consider. I'd like to congratulate the following individuals for advancing their education. Emma Harris, Master's in Applied Behavior Analysis. Caitlin Miller, Master's in Vision Rehabilitation Therapy. Kim Alston, Master's in Applied Behavior Analysis. Marilyn Rodriguez, Master's in Social Work. And Jenna Nyland, Master's in Psychology. So on behalf of all of us, I want to thank you guys for continuing your growth and helping us to enhance our own. Thank you very much. Hold on, you got a gift. All right, next, I'd like to call up the Illinois Adapted PE Teacher of the Year, Karen Puckett. Slide. I'm sorry, Marguerite, that actually was my absolute favorite slide. So, all right, I know that we have sent out information in the last few weeks about Karen and the things that she's achieved, but I do want to recognize her for the following awards that she's won this year. So in the PE world, our state is divided into regions and areas, and so Karen won the Northeastern Area APE Teacher of the Year. Not surprisingly, she did not stop there, and she was just recently named as the State of Illinois APE Teacher of the Year. This is where I always get a little sentimental. So, Karen, you do an outstanding job of representing your profession and representing CASE. I have been fortunate to see you emerge as a leader on the APE team, and I love that you are getting some well-deserved recognition and validation from your peers. We are so proud that CASE has the Illinois APE Teacher of the Year within its ranks, and from all of us, congratulations. Next, I'd like to call up our one and only 2024 retiree, Marguerite Hendzel. that we have formed with each other. As we get ready to honor this year's retiree, I'm filled with mixed emotions, preparing for what will be a big loss to Case and our kids, but excited for Marguerite and her new adventures. Congratulations, Marguerite. When I first met Marguerite, I was new to Case, and during my first year, I was introduced to her while she was teaching at Glenwood. And I remember seeing her at some kind of meeting, and she was sitting there with a look with some of her little friends that said, I was here before you got here, and I'll be here after you leave. It was some initiative or something else that was being presented. And I have to say, as a new administrator in Case, that was a little intimidating, but as a fellow teacher, I knew immediately that I had found a kindred spirit. And while conversations with her were always lively, it wasn't until I got to see her teach, see her interact with the students, and see her full-on advocate in a mama bear kind of way that I really began to understand the depth of all that she is as an educator. Simply put, she is amazing. Marguerite started teaching at the Proviso Area for Exceptional Children, PACE, and a special ed co-op in Maywood in 1989. She has a family history of special education. It was, in fact, Marguerite's mother that started PACE. Marguerite worked at PACE until 1996 when she was considering a change of career. Fortunately, for a whole lot of our students, a former colleague of hers convinced her to come on over to Case and give it a try. She figured she'd see how she liked it, and 28 years later, here we are. Marguerite has a very large family and friend representation here today. Actually, I would like all those people who came here on behalf of Marguerite to stand. And this is important. I said that for a reason that's important. Because it is a celebration. And I can see where Marguerite gets one of her most fundamental values. And that is that when it matters, you show up. Marguerite and I recently had a very long talk about how lucky she is to have such terrific relationships with her parents, her siblings, her families, and her kids. Her heart is her family. And among the things that Marguerite is really looking forward to is the upcoming wedding of her oldest child, which will be in November in Cabo. And aside from the wedding itself, what she's really looking forward to is having an amazing daughter-in-law and expanding her family to include the family of that daughter-in-law. It's all about family. Marguerite's kind of pleased to be a grandparent to 4 wonderful puppies. In addition, she's a dog at home as well. Her husband is retired and they don't have any fancy souped up plans. Her immediate priority upon retirement is to spend more time in Florida with her mom and her dad. She is looking forward to being able to travel and not have to think through all the school stuff. She's content not to have any real big plans and looks forward to relaxing mornings, a little flexibility, and spending some time doing some things she enjoys. As I thought about what to say about Marguerite, a couple of immediate thoughts came to mind. From the beginning of the time that I was at Case, I knew when I was in her room that I was watching an excellent teacher. She was always steady and calm during crises. Her rooms were filled with activities that allowed students to progress, and her relationships were 100% based on her full-on belief in the capacity of her students to succeed. As a teacher myself, I learned what my own strengths were and where I wasn't so good at. And when I see Marguerite in action, she reminds me of everything that I had once hoped to be. I got to see Marguerite work through a few transitions. During some difficult times at Glenwood, Marguerite was always out in front leading the charge. She had plans for students, she had plans for staff, and, not surprisingly, plans for administration. When things got tough, she buckled down and made more plans. At no time and at no point did she give up when she was frustrated, and at no point did she check out. She cared about the school, she cared about the staff, she cared about the students, and she showed up. When the decision to close Glenwood was made, Marguerite became a strong advocate for the students as plans were being made to return them to their home districts. She was also a strong advocate for staff. I got to see her talk with other staff members. I got to see her listen to colleagues. I got to see her help them through an unwelcome change. There was a lot of venting. There was a lot of anxiety. There was a lot of uncertainty. And through it all, Marguerite showed up. When I think of her, what pops in my brain and my memories is the number of meetings, phone calls, and face-to-face conversations I've had with her that all include the same topic. Whatever we're talking about, the first thing out of her mouth is how it will affect her kids. How, if it's an absence, if it's anything else, if it's a great idea, something else, it's always about the kids. As I said earlier, Marguerite knows that she matters to her students, and she shows up. Her commitment to being present at all times is what I think I might most admire about her work. She will talk about something that's going on, and she always says, I moved everything around so I'm there for the kids, every single time. She rearranges life, she rearranges family, she does everything that she can to be present for students, and she shows up. And when you are in the presence of a person like this, when you sit back and think about how students guide both her personal and professional decisions, you really can't help but be inspired. Marguerite, I wish you the very best as you transition into retirement. Your passion and your presence are your legacy at CASE, and there are not enough words to tell you what a difference your showing up has meant to CASE staff, and most importantly, to the students whose lives have been changed by your work. Congratulations.